I speaking to Joseph Castleman?
Yes.
It is my great honor to tell you that you have been chosen to receive this year's Nobel Prize.
Mr. Castleman, I have gotten an offer to write a book about Joe.
A writer writes because if he does not, his soul will starve.
I am aware of Joe's various indiscretions.
I can't do it. I can't take the humiliation.
I think you are sick and tired of being invisible.
I'm going to tell you everything.
First of all, you read the script, and you know I know pretty fast whether it's writing that I like, that I think offers room for actors to do things that's not totally on the nose, you know. And then I was intrigued by what made her tick, and I had questions, and yeah, so there was definitely enough there for me to say I would really like to do this.
Oh, God, this is so unreal. Huh? How do I look?
You're fine.
No crumbs, no tears, all good?
All good.
Oh, Joan, tell me this isn't some great, big, fat joke.
It's all real, darling. Breathe.
I think because we were playing very, very specific characters in a very specific, complex marriage, that people bring whatever is going on in their life to it at that particular time. So I'm not sure what point of view it is. I think people will have their own interpretations and take away from it different things. I really like that aspect of the film. Whatever you do, underlying it should be a sense of comedy, no matter what you're doing. A sense that you don't take yourself so seriously, because then you become an actor who's too self-conscious, and, you know. Yeah, so I think an underlying sense of breadth and, I mean, the human comedy helps.
Enjoy from Sylvia Fry. Who the hell's Sylvia Fry?
One of your characters, Dad.
Don't be hard on him, David. He's tired. I do think there's a lot to recognize, and there are some situations that some are funny and some are cringeworthy and some are moving.
May I also say congratulations to you as well, Joan? I don't think people give the spouse enough credit.
I'll give my wife credit. I give her plenty of credit.
That's not what I meant. I meant, you know, the rest of the world, the critics, the readers, and most of all...
Nathaniel, I know I'm supposed to be impressed that somehow you've wheedled your way onto this flight, but I'm telling you, I am not giving you permission to write my biography. Now, would you please leave us alone?
You made that abundantly clear.
Fine,
I'm
good.
So sorry. I just wanted to say congratulations.
Thank you for coming by and saying hello to them.
I mean it sincerely. Thank you. Thank you.
It was really important for me to answer the question about why she doesn't just leave him. I thought that women might jump up and just say, oh, please, just leave him. So I had to answer that question. That Joe, Joan's husband in the novel, is more black and white. And that's why I was worried about why she didn't leave him, because it kind of starts to reflect on her. So the relationship that we started finding was very, very complex, and I think showed shades of Joe, aspects of Joe. If an audience really thinks about it and maybe even goes back and sees it again. In the beginning, she says when she's young, "Don't leave me." In the end, he's the one who says, "Don't leave me." So, you know, there's these wonderful, many of them buried issues between the two of them that aren't fully articulated between each other.
I'd like to introduce the Castlemans.
Hello, I'm Joan.
My wife doesn't write.
There are scenes like the cocktail party scene where she's basically made to feel invisible, that I remember thinking consciously, how much should I show on my face? This is a situation that she's used to. She's been in this situation many, many times. It's not a fresh anger that she feels. It's something that is just, that she, at that point in her life, accepts. Or if she doesn't accept, she knows how to act. So it's not that meant just not having that active anger, but just knowing where she fit in the scene.
Please don't paint me as a victim. I am much more interesting than that.
I know you are.
It's an intimate story. I mean, I felt in the scenes where when we were actually in the prize ceremony, I felt it was only Jonathan and I in the room, because those two characters know exactly what's going on, and they know exactly what's going on in the other one, and it becomes excruciating. Yeah.
What have you been doing all day?
Well, I walked around, went into a couple of stores, looked in a couple of shops. How did the rehearsal go?
Terry, you've been smoking? I can smell it.
I went into a cafe and it was filled with smoke. Ugh.
You've been drinking, too?
Yeah, I had a vodka.
In the middle of the day?
Yes, Joe, in the middle of the day.
You know, Joni, you can't be doing this. You can't be showing up at functions with alcohol on your breath.
You are the star of the big show, so why would anyone possibly care?
What the hell has gotten into you?
I don't like to be lectured to. I'm not a child.
I like a director who gives their actors space in the beginning, and then if he wants to, come in and add an element or ask a question, he'll do it after you've kind of gotten yourself into the scene a bit. But somebody who comes and directs you too soon, I find that annoying. Björn, he's one of the best directors I've ever worked with. He understands actors. He has respect for what actors do. He understands the craft of acting. And again, he knows where to put the camera. To me, it's very much the Bergman School. A friend once asked Erland Josephson, who was one of Bergman's actors, why they all were so brilliant in his films. He said, because he knows where to put the camera. And Björn is of that school. And it frees you, because you don't have to worry about if the angle's right, if the lighting's right. And also his partnership with Ulf Branson, who was our DP. They've known each other for a very long time, and the setups were beautifully done in a way that I think back on shooting those scenes, and I really can't remember where the camera was. In my mind, we were just doing the scene almost like it was theater.
Do you have an occupation, Mrs. Castleman?
I am a kingmaker.
It maintains a very strong emotional connection with the audience. I don't think it ever lets the audience go until the last minute. And that has to do with how it's shot and how it's edited.
So, while I was out being a drunken lush, you were seducing the luscious Linnea?
Nothing happened.
Oh, don't you dare insult my intelligence. Don't you dare.
I don't want to go into something think I know everything about it, because I like to choose pieces that will represent for me actual growth, a new discovery, and how you get that is either from you internally or from a fellow actor or from a director. It's a highly, I think of it as a highly collaborative art. I've never understood actors, or in a way you think if it's true, how lucky for them to say, just leave me alone and let me do my own thing. I personally don't approach the craft of acting like that. I think it's all listening, reacting, reflection. And I don't necessarily, though I can be very instinctive about how I sense a scene is or how that character is in a scene. I've learned to not always trust my instincts, and if somebody has a better idea, fabulous. Especially in film. You try to give the director as many choices as he can have that don't, take a scene out of shape. But when he's in the editing room, the more material he has, the better off you are.